Hello, good evening. Whether you click this video accidentally or intentionally, thanks and nice to bump in. I hope you appreciated the last video. Had you not, if you could or you may spare some time, I would really appreciate that. You're a little closer to improving your language and communication skills. There are no experts involved in creating these videos, only the mediocres were involved. I have a great disclaimer. These videos might improve your English and communication wherein you might be ostracized by your friends and we will not be responsible for the same. The School of Soft Skills, Communicative Competence, Linguistic Intelligence, English Session 2. In the last session, I was talking about Diana Naya, the 64-year-old American. She became the first person to swim from Cuba to Florida. It was her fifth try and 53 hours of swimming. Kudos to this elderly lady. Now I would like to allude to the Indian swimmer Kutraleswaran, who swam the Park Strait in 16 hours at the age of 12 in April 1994. So the geriatric and the pediatric are doing their work and we youngsters are a question mark. Jashwant, a tiny Tamil Nadu boy, he swam the Park Strait 32 kilometers within 10.5 hours. Kudos to this kid. Maybe next time we will talk about somebody else. Okay, as we discussed earlier in the first session itself, tenses in English must be mastered in order to speak the language efficiently. Don't confuse the forms of the verbs with tenses. So verbs undergo many forms. Base form, for an example, I'd given go. Infinitive form is to go. Present participle form, going. Past form, went. Past participle form, gone. Don't worry too much about your pronunciation now. We have a session for that, but if you speak like an Indian, it's more than enough. Please do as many verbs as possible. You can go to the internet, check the English verbs. There are many sites which offer verbs along with their forms. Arise, arose, arisen. We are talking about the base form, the past form. The last column is the past participle form. Awake, awoke, awoken. Be, was, were, been. Bear, bow, born. Born. Become, became, become. Begin, began, begun. Bend, bent, bent. Bet, bet, bet. Bind, bound, bound. Bite, bit, bitten. Bleed, bled, bled. Blow, blew, blown. Break, broke, broken. Breed, bred, bred. Bring, brought, brought. Broadcast, broadcast, broadcast. Sometimes we hear people say, I have broke the pencil. I'm sorry, it has to be corrected. I have broken, break, broke, broken the pencil. When we frame perfect tenses, the perfect tenses preferably takes the past participle form. We will talk about it in the next lessons. Kindly take a screenshot and use it as a word card. I'd like to introduce you to pronouns, especially the subject pronoun, and how the be verb changes its form. Once it's conjugated, how it changes. When we're talking about pronouns, pronouns are used instead of nouns. Again, they are classified as first person singular, second person singular, third person singular, first person plural, second person plural, third person plural. The subject pronoun. Subject is nothing but when we talk about something or somebody, that's a subject. I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they. First person singular, it's I. Second person singular, it's you. Third person singular, it's he, she, it. First person plural, it's we. Second person plural, it's you. Third person plural, it's they. When we take the be verb, conjugation is the process of converting into something. The conjugated be in present tense. For I, it becomes am. For you, it becomes are. For he, she, it becomes is. For we, it becomes are. For you, it becomes are. For they, it becomes are. Now the same be verb, if it's conjugated in the past tense, for I, it will become was and were. We will see the difference later. For you, it will become were. For he, she, it becomes was. For we, it becomes were. For you, it becomes were. For they, it becomes were. Now in the future form, for I, it will be shall and will. For you, it will be will. He, she, it will be will. We, it will be shall and will. You will, they will. Now there are many auxiliary verbs, but for framing perfect tenses, we preferably use have, has and had. So the auxiliary verb in the present form, for I it will be have, you it will be have, he, she, it will be has, we, you and they it will be have. And the auxiliary verb past form, it's very easy. For everything it will take had. Now let's discuss about present tense. Present tense is framed using the following rules. Now we're talking about rule. A rule is like the tables that you mugged up when you were a kid. Suppose if I say 5 people are standing there and each one has 3 apples. How many total apples? You might tell, what big deal, 5 into 3, 15. So you learned your tables so that it's easy for you to do any mathematical calculations. The same way, if you could understand the rule, when we talk about higher standards of grammar, it will be easy for you. So what's the rule? Subject, we're going to talk about somebody or something, plus base form of the verb. Now you may roll up 2 slides and find out we have different base forms. We today talked about go, going, went and gone, plus object. Object is which receives an action or the verb it gets passed on to. Add s to verb for singular, but for ing doesn't take a singular. You could see that yes, bold, in bold. I write my assignment regularly. You write this assignment, please. He writes his assignment regularly. She writes her assignment regularly. It writes, we write, you all must write. I'm sorry, I've included must there. We will discuss about the modal verbs in the later. They write their assignment regularly. Rama writes his assignment. Sita writes because it's singular. Rama and Sita write because it's plural. This is a basic fundamental rule most of us know, especially people from humble beginnings. It will be very useful for you. The first thing, when I ask people, give me an example of present tense, immediately say, I am going to the shop. I'm sorry, I'm going to the shop is a present progressive or present continuous tense. Present tense is used to speak about universal truths. The sun rises in the east. Facts, 10 million people live in this country. Habitual actions, I get up early in the morning. Statistical data, breaking news, it goes on and on, which we will discuss in the future. Present tense is used extensively. People might say we don't have a use for present tense. I'm sorry to say, yes, of course you have. Assume you're asked to write about your company. This is an example. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce my company. I work for Alchlonist and it's a coaching, mentoring and training and development company. Loosely connected professionals, of course some with loose connections connect together to achieve cognitive challenges. Pun intended. We are in India and we provide personal coaching and conduct training workshops. We also provide free sessions for those with humble beginnings, only for the needy, not for the greedy. This entire context is in present tense. We will look at more examples in the forthcoming sessions. Now let's move to vocabulary. The words that we're going to discuss today. Number 1, detrimental. Number 2, muse. Number 3, tarnish. Number 3, a lot of different pronunciations are there, but I found one common, kal, do or they sack, to cut corners. Let's discuss every word. Detrimental. Detrimental is an adjective, to cause harm or damage. Examples: smoking is detrimental to others' health. Not learning English may be detrimental for your corporate or business growth. Sitting is the next big disease and may be detrimental for sedentary workers. Muse, it's a verb. The meaning is engage in thought. Usage, introspection is all about musing about yourself. Looks like a verbose. Usage, please muse before you buy anything. Don't become a victim of hoarding consumerism. Another example, please don't keep musing over the grammatical mistakes and pronunciation errors in this video. Tarnish, it's an adjective to spoil someone's image. His image was tarnished after he took a flight to Britain. It's time for us to stop tarnishing our country's image. Many companies' image got tarnished because they compromised on quality. Cul-de-sac, it's a French noun. It means bottom of a sack or dead end. The usage, if your job is a cul-de-sac, it's time for you to update your soft skills and hard skills. The production strategy has led them to a cul-de-sac. My street leads to a cul-de-sac. The idiom we'll discuss today is to cut corners, to do something badly or cheaply. We call it a shoddy work. They cut corners when they planned the party and many left hungry because there was not enough food. When you plan for a task, please don't cut corners. Cutting corners in production led to the poor quality. So we have 5 words: detrimental, muse, tarnish, cull, the or do, sack, to cut corners. How do I put this in an email? Dear team, the present sales figure is highly detrimental for our growth. I request every one of you to muse upon the same and come out with some creative ideas. The competitors are capitalizing this opportunity and tarnishing our image in the market. Our old-fashioned strategies could lead us to a cull, they or they sack, and the new aggressive strategy seem to cut corners. That's unfair, unethical. I look forward to have great ideas and suggestions in the upcoming meeting. Pronunciation, the word itself, as I told you in the earlier sessions, it's confusing to pronounce, pronunciation, a lot of say pronunciation. Don't worry too much, pronunciation would be better. Some words I have put, kindly make a note of it and try to pronounce it properly. Nishi is not there, it's niche. Driverless electric cars will be a niche in the auto market. It's not broccoli, it's broccoli. When we are talking about broccoli, it's a great source of vitamins K and C and a good source of folate, folic acid, and also provides potassium and fiber. Maestro of classical music, Ludwig van Beethoven is considered one of the most influential classical musicians of all time. He's no more composing, he's decomposing. Hymn, a song of praise that Christians sing to God, a hymn book. This word is still confusing. When we travel in a train, we travel in 2-tier or 3-tier AC. The word, whether the tire is really pronounced that way or not, it's still a debate. I couldn't get a proper source of it. So for right now, we'll pronounce it as 2-tier or 3-tier. And when you're traveling with people who are really not bothered about pronunciation, you can share their pronunciation. The fable of this particular book, Who Moved My Cheese by Spencer Johnson, it involves around 4 characters living in a maze. The mice, Scurry and Sniff, and the 2 little people, Hem and Haw. All is going well because they have found a huge source of their favorite food, cheese. But fate had its way, and one fine day, the cheese is gone. The mice, Scurry and Sniff, quickly accept the loss and they go in search of other sources. But the little people were unable to digest the loss. They were sitting and crying and blaming everyone. So the moral is, after we have lost a job or a relationship and we believe it's the end of the world, we must be able to let go and accept the law of nature. Instead of seeing change as the end of something, we must learn to see it as a beginning. I do understand motivation. You can get motivation through various sources. If you do not change, you can become extinct. If you are not updated, you will be uprooted. Now let's go to Tirukkural. உடுக்கை இழந்தவன் கை போல ஆங்கே இடுக்கண் களைவதாம் நட்பு. அணிந்திருக்கும் உடை உடலை விட்டு நழுவும் போது எப்படி கைகள் உடனடியாக செயல்பட்டு அதனை சரி செய்ய உதவுகின்றனவோ அதை போல நண்பனுக்கு வரும் துன்பத்தை போக்கு துடித்து செல்வதே நட்புக்கு இலக்கணமாகும். A true friendship hastens to the rescue of the afflicted as readily as the hand of one whose garment is loosened before an assembly. A friend in need is a friend indeed. I have only friends in greed. Action plans: please read the newspaper every single day. Watch NDTV every single day. Any news channel for that matter, not noise channels. Read InShots. It's an app available for every mobile phone. Watch a TED video a day. TED videos in YouTube are really good. You can download them or you can watch them as it is. Podcast: if you go to your Play Store or your iStore and search for podcast, you can download that app and you can search for a lot of videos as well as audio books in that. I'm sorry, I think it's only audios, but I get a TED Health podcast. It's a video also. Once you have accepted your flaws, no one can use them against you. It's a great idea. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.